In my Tech Explainer, I will discuss web archiving. In this video, I will define web archiving, name 3 types, discuss the 3 major institutions, explore web archiving outside information institutions, discuss a major challenge in web archiving, discuss citizen archivists, tools and vendors used, the future of web archiving, a conclusion, links to learn more, info, and a reference page. Let's begin. Web archiving is choosing, catching, and constructing reachable subject matter from the web. That's all. Next, I will discuss the 3 types of web archiving. The first is called client-side web archiving. That is when crawlers begin at the infant pages and resolve them, take out the links, and get connected documents. The second type of web archiving is called transaction-based web archiving. This course of action works on the server side and so requires entry to the web server giving web content. And the third type is called server-side web archiving. Now in this method, you would duplicate files straight from the server but not utilize the HTTP interface. Next, we'll go into the 3 leading institutions. The first major institution is academic libraries. One example is the Stanford University Library. They use what is called web-based archive. It's utilized for growing technologies and crawling, scheming web stores, and diverse search applications. And another example is the University of Tokyo Library. They use Soryo-sense structure for breaking down communal conduct found in tire-out web information. The second major institution type is museums. The first example is the Smithsonian Institution in BC. The Smithsonian started web archiving their websites because they act as the spokesperson of the Smithsonian and save the Smithsonian's history. The second example is the National Museum of Women in the Arts. They archive art-related web pages. Final institution that I'm going to discuss is archives. My first example is the Internet Archives, which uses web archiving to, what else? Preserve older websites. The other example is the Library of Congress's National Archives. They are in charge of conserve and supply admission to archived web subject matter chosen by theme specialists so that it will be obtainable for investigators in the present and time to come. Next, we'll explore web archiving outside of information agencies. I was unable to find specific examples, but the literature helped me conclude that businesses could use web archiving. The National Archives UK mentioned that many organizations use the websites to document the public character of organizations and their interaction with their audience and customers. Say that Target wants to appeal to, kids who grew up in the late 90s, like myself. Now, just for the record, I don't know if Target had a website in the late 90s, but let's say that they want to make their website look like it was from the late 90s. And for ideas, they could look at their web archive, assuming, of course, they had a website in the late 90s. Next, I'll discuss a major challenge in web archiving. Now, while there were many issues, there was one particular issue that really stood out to me the most, mainly because it never occurred to me that it could be an issue. I'm talking about copyright. This information that I found was in Slania's 2013 article called Online Art Ephemera Archiving at the National Museum of Women in the Arts. Slania states that it is a continued concern for web archivists, and that web archivists in the National Libraries of Australia have been at the forefront of the issue, and it serves as a good example of copyright permission that may be sought from rights holders. Now, Australia utilizes the choose within the manner that is well liked with numerous important investigative organizations. Basically, they let the owners decide whether or not they want it archived, I think. And then next, I'm going to discuss citizens archiving. The National Archives has a program called Citizen Archivist. It's where we can actually donate to the National Archives by, and this is according to their website, transcribing historical documents, tag archival photographs, or share comments with other community members. Now, as of right now, they didn't really have anything on web archiving, but they might in the future. Next, I will explore vendors and tools used. Rhizome was the only vendor that I could find, and they created Web Recorder. Another tool is Archiveit, and I could not find their vendor, unfortunately. The Internet Archive uses Archiveit, and the Smithsonian uses Web Recorder plus Archiveit. Next, we will discuss the future of web archiving. Now, as I mentioned a while ago, copyright is a growing concern. Not much was found specifically about the future of, web archiving in the US. However, perhaps the US could take note from what Australia is doing. And again, Australia is allowing creators to pick whether or not to basically let their work get archived. What are your ideas? So in conclusion, I gave a basic definition, explained 3 types, explored 3 institutions, discussed how it's useful for businesses, shared a major issue, informed you of citizen archivists, shared a vendor and 2 tools, and recommended the US follow Australia's example. For more information on citizen archivists, click on the first link, www.archives.gov/citizen-archivist. For more information on web archiving in general, click on the last 2 links. The first one being netpreserve.org or loc.gov./webarchiving. I hope you enjoyed my tech explainer.